about. He had such important jobs and such huge responsibilities. Even if portraits did usually capture smiles, I don't think they would have Washington smiling very often. He also wasn't known for a great sense of humor.
Although minute details on Washington's face are visible right down to the hairs on his eyebrows, his cheeks look abnormally smooth. Could this be evidence that the artist did a little retouching of the plaster cast to improve Washington's skin? In 1751, 19-year-old George Washington accompanied his dying brother Lawrence to Barbados to seek a cure for Lawrence's tuberculosis.
It didn't work. His brother ended up dying. But what was a good thing is that Washington came down with smallpox. He was able to fight away the disease and became immune to the pox for the rest of his life. We do, however, think that two things happened. One is that he got some slight pock marks, probably in both cheeks, as a result. And some scholars believe that that may have made him sterile.
The fact that Washington never had children supports the claim of sterility from smallpox. The possibly retouched cheeks could be hiding the fact that George Washington really looked like this, pockmarked by the disease. Another questionable part of this face is the line of the jaw. Washington had the plaster mold placed over his face while he was lying down.
With Washington lying down, there's been much debate over when he did the life mask, were his dentures in, were his dentures out, can we tell? Some forensic scientists have certainly tried to find a way to put together the dentures and the life mask and determine, but I think it was inconclusive, but he probably had his dentures in during the casting of the life mask.
There has been some speculation that when he had his portrait painted that he didn't wear dentures at all, that rather he had cotton or other material stuffed in his mouth to make the jawline look the way it needed to.
To try and solve this part of the mystery, Washington's lower denture is scanned. Using the same CGI technology that created his face, the denture is placed inside his mouth. The fact that Washington's facial structure does not change when the denture is put in his mouth indicates that he was most likely wearing this denture when the mask was being made.
If you take the dentures away from his mouth, you're going to see a face that we're not used to seeing.
Now, with technology, it's possible to take away George Washington's dentures for a more realistic and vulnerable portrait of the man. Here, without his teeth, is the face Washington showed to his closest friends and family, the real face of the first president.
This is the CGI with the tone and texture of Washington's face and his hair. Wow. I think it's absolutely riveting to have a sense of what Washington genuinely looked like, and the fact that it's so different from the face we have on the dollar bill, that it really is a new Washington for us to see him as a living, breathing man.
I don't think we did enough research on what Washington might have looked like without his false teeth. I wish we'd done more in that. I'm thrilled that you're doing additional research to try to find out how much the teeth impacted the look of Washington's mouth. Because in portraits, you see his mouth in many different shapes and forms, and they don't match up at all. So the mouth is the mysterious part of the face of George Washington.
Does seeing Washington as he really was take away the greatness of his legacy?
I think that, sadly, over the years, Washington has evolved from being almost a real person into being more of a symbol of our nation, almost like the flag or the eagle. And I think if you can make Washington blink his eyes and smile and be more like a human being with faults and problems, that would be a real service to younger generations particularly. We know that Washington was a great leader. We know that he had an incredible character. And those things are hard to get across unless you really think of him as a human being.